Well, you got those kind of toes?
You have marshmallow toes?
Sometimes.
I think your shoes are on a little too tight.
Yeah. Oh, diabetes. Welcome back to the Dragon's Lab. I'm your dude, Sprites. I'm here, join with me, my good pal, my good friend, Mav3rick. And we have a guest on the podcast. And if y'all would, we refer to him as Ace.
Yeah,
Hello.
we'd like to give him a big round of applause for showing up today. We tried to do this a couple weeks ago, and unfortunately, we had
Diabetes. No, we didn't have that.
no,
Joking.
no.
We had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we had a flood, and actually, it kind of
Totally forgot about the flood.
yeah, it got
It's crazy.
it cut us back a couple weeks.
Look, guys, we had to shut down school. So, also, if y'all hear some noise outside, don't worry about it.
There's some
Just domestic
clucking.
issues happening. We listen, we mind our own around here.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but yeah,
Okay,
some
so
squawking.
what we're gonna say is, we always like to remind you, please follow us on Twitter at DragonsW Gaming. You can find us on Twitter. We are working on other social media platforms, working on getting that stuff up and running. But for now, please follow us on Twitter. Keep up with all the news, everything that's going on with us, and everything's going on in the world of video games.
And guys, also don't forget to go ahead and invite or tell a friend. Right? I think we say this recently. At least we've been saying this every podcast, but it goes a long way for us.
It's like pay it forward, except for it's free.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it costs you nothing, and they get to hear our wonderful voices. So
Yeah.
Or at least a professional take of Ace because I ain't got nothing today.
We ain't got no professionalism today.
But
we're professional.
I'm professionally
out?
unprofessional. Like
Okay.
I'm a pro at being unprofessional.
I know a guy that probably would agree with that.
So, yeah, absolutely. I know several.
And
My wife included would probably be like, dude, this guy, awful.
So let me ask you this, because we always do that. What have you been playing section? But
Yeah.
I think this time we're going to kind of skip that, because I feel like most of us have been. Well, I'm sorry. Most of us have been playing.
Cue tragic music.
Yeah.
Like a son just died or something.
I need that. That
Play
hot
the
button.
smallest violin.
Yeah, the smallest violin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom like constant. So I know, Ace, you've been playing.
Yep. Really good game.
So we're looking forward to trying to get Sprites on board.
Yeah, I'm not crying. You guys are crying.
Put out a GoFundMe for
I got
Sprites.
the tears.
Yeah, for it. Yeah. You got the. I ain't got no tears, man.
Well,
I need some tears with me.
well, that's
in my
okay.
life.
That's all right. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm going to go ahead and say we're probably going to leave off the triggering section this go around too. I know everybody kind of enjoys that, especially like.
One does not just leave off the triggering. It'll happen. Well, eventually.
You think the timeline will trigger you? Because today, what I thought we would do today is since this was supposed to be a pre-episode to Tears of the Kingdom coming out.
Yeah.
Thought what we'd do is maybe do some history of the Legend of Zelda. Kind of
putting it in chronological.
Yeah, doing a little chronological order. So let's go ahead and start with that. I know we're kind of skipping ahead on my stuff, but let's start with that. And Nintendo has an official book on all this, and part of it is states that Skyward Sword is the beginning of the timeline. Yeah. And so throughout that game, you see. The story starts with the floating islands of Skyloft, and Link and Zelda are like childhood friends. They grow up together.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda's taken away. Of course, she's always either captured or pulled away by something. And
Zelda and Peach linking arms together.
yeah,
as they're getting
right.
hauled off for the 80th time.
It's a princess thing, man.
Yeah, like you guys can't not get captured. Can y'all just chill at the house for once?
But now that you've let's take a side trip there. Now that you've wait a minute, we can't talk about that because Ace still has not seen the movie.
Oh, Ace.
Yeah.
So
Ace.
where Sprites does not have tears, Ace has yet to see the Mario movie.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Chris Pratt.
I told you it wasn't that bad though.
Dude, it was good.
It was a really good movie.
I know this is kind of like a...
Did it sound like
Like a-
Mario? Did it really sound like
Did
Mario?
it sound like Mario? Absolutely not.
No.
Dude was... Listen, and he rocked his own thing, you know? He did
Yeah.
his own thing. I thought I was going to not like it as much. I'll tell you one thing.
I feel like if he had to speak sentences or an entire paragraph at a point,
Yeah, he
and
didn't
it wasn't
talk a
full
lot.
of just a lot of one-liners,
Uh-huh.
then there would be problems. But
Which I've voiced this to Maverick off the podcast after we watched it. One thing that I wasn't super impressed with, like Donkey Kong. Like I like Seth Rogen.
then my wife will disagree with
And
you because
so
I think
Seth
she
Rogen's
was
laugh.
she waited the entire movie for Donkey Kong. She loves Seth Rogen.
Listen,
so.
listen. I didn't mind his voice most of the time. There's a few times where I was like, it's a little weird looking at like the character model of Donkey Kong and then hearing Seth Rogen's voice come out. I'm like, that does not look like it comes out of that character. You know what I mean? But then for the most part, but
it's the same
soundtrack
thing.
was killer.
It's the same thing as like we go all the way back to Kung Fu Panda, one of the greatest movies of all.
Oh, I love all three of them were fantastic.
There is no Kung Fu Panda without Jack Black.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try, but there is no Kung Fu Panda without Jack Black.
The wishy finger hold.
The whooshy finger.
So you know this hold.
So again, I will never look at Donkey Kong the same,
Yeah, it's
especially dancing pecs.
Oh my dancing pecs.
So
What was Luigi like?
I had to uncover your ears. He goes, my father thinks I'm a failure. He's like, yeah, my father thinks I'm a failure too. He's like, yeah. It's like, he's probably right. He's like, the only difference is your father's right.
Did Luigi sound good?
Charlie did a good job.
yeah, Charlie did it.
All right.
Everybody really did. I mean, even Seth Rogen did a great. There was multiple times where I was dying at Donkey Kong and Mario's interaction.
And you'll enjoy it because there is a scene. There is a scene in it, and this was in the trailer, so I mean, this really isn't a spoiler. The Luigi scene, the dark Luigi scene. I mean, if that doesn't scream that Nintendo wants to work on it's like that's testing the water.
They need to make a Luigi's Mansion movie.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so this scene basically sets up how is the audience going to react to this? Because if they react well, we can do a Luigi's Mansion. Now, how they're going to do Dr. Egad? Yeah, I think his name's Egad.
Trying to think, yeah.
Because he doesn't speak. It's just like waka 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 waka, or he's still like Fozzie the Bear or something. But
Subtitles, man.
oh no, I ain't reading
Take a
Nintendo. I'm not reading a movie.
Dude.
Danny DeVito could play him.
That's a really good idea.
Could you imagine Danny DeVito voicing that? Like,
But don't they already have him like cast for Shaquille O'Neal?
I mean, listen, he did the. Maybe 3 Dannies stacked on top of each other. You got 1 Danny
I'm
and
sorry.
2 Danny.
I couldn't pass that. I couldn't pass that up.
Oh, my. Oh, Shaq. I'm pretty sure Shaq eats about as much as Danny DeVito weighs a day.
Well, let's.
I got shoes bigger than this thing.
But going back to this timeline, so obviously, I don't want to spoil anything for you if you hadn't played a lot of these games.
A lot of them are old, though.
Yeah,
let's keep it a buck. I mean, you get spoiled. Sorry, go play the game.
Yeah.
It's been out for like 20 years.
And so Skyward Sword
really,
was
not that long.
that old Legend of Zelda. You go to temples, you do the temples, you do your dungeons or whatever.
Its big thing was like the ability to like swing the
yes.
the ability the ability to be able to like actually
swing the Wii remote.
Wii remote and block. And,
Which I'm gonna be honest, the Switch version, the HD version for the Switch is really good and it responds real well.
Uh-huh.
But there were times that little Joy-Con almost slipped out of my hand, and while I did have the wrist strap on, it wasn't going through my TV.
Strap.
But there were a couple times I ended up using, they added the thumbstick so that you could do the motions with the thumbstick. I ended up sitting down with my Pro Controller and just doing that. It worked out a lot better that way.
Yeah.
But and so with Skyward Sword, we enter the Master Sword is created for the first time, after defeating Demise, which. I mean, have you played Skyward Sword, right?
A little bit. I haven't.
Ace, have you played Skyward Sword?
No.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this or not, but like Demise is this big, huge. It's just like a big blob.
Yeah.
And he's huge. The only way to take him down is to cut at his toes. So you've got these white marshmallow-looking toes that wiggle while you're hitting. I mean, it's pretty freaky. Well, you got those kind of toes?
You have marshmallow toes?
Sometimes.
I think your shoes are on a little too tight.
Yeah. That might be wrong. Never mind. Well, moving on.
But anyways, after defeating Demise, Link and Zelda return to Skyloft, where they say bye to their friends, begin a new journey, and the game ends that, of course, there'll be new adventures in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So what was interesting is that, we talked about Minish Cap prior.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't played it and you have the Game Boy Advance app on your Switch, go pick up Minish Cap because, I mean, it's a Legend of Zelda game. It's free.
Yep.
It's fun. I know one of our buddies and I talked about it in Discord the other night. Minish Cap's great.
Mm-hmm.
But it has something to do. It is the start of this ongoing cycle. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's like reading the Old Testament.
That's thinking about it, that's a good analogy.
Because, I mean, how many times did these people screw up and end
the Book of Judges
back up in bondage or and so the cycle just continually repeats itself. And of course, I mean, we do that in our daily life. We do that. The human race as a whole. Correct
me if I'm wrong. It's something that like Link doesn't intentionally try to cause happen. Right? The cycle repeating itself. Right? No. It's not something that he's necessarily aware of. No, it's just happening due to his, due to him defeating Ganon or Ganondorf or whatever variant.
Right. So like the generations are just kind of like passed down and down and down.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is so there are these save spots which are I'm trying to think. They look like angels. It's supposed to be the goddess, the goddess Hylia, yeah. And so
one of the three.
Yeah, and so what's neat about it is when you see these statues in Breath of the Wild, in Tears of the Kingdom, they look like worn down versions of what was in Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
So where Breath of the Wild and
Skyward Sword,
Tears of the Kingdom fall into the timeline, I don't think we know yet because Nintendo has not officially released that.
Yeah.
But like with Minish Cap, it takes a completely different outlook on it. I mean, essentially it's the same thing. There is you've got to rescue the princess. In this one, there was an evil sorcerer. His name was Vati.
Yeah,
Vati.
Something like that. I remember him though. Yeah.
And so he actually is in a few of the games, which I didn't realize because I'd never played anything like Minish Cap or Four Swords. He actually is in multiple games. But the neat thing about Minish Cap was it allowed the player to try to. He was looking for the legendary Pickery Blade. which the Pickery Blade ends up being, the master sword that you have to go get, and
just a different name for it, but yeah.
Right, and so each thing,
and that's the focus of it. The vast majority of those,
Right.
normally that's like in game,
and I know
you get that, and then you take on the final boss.
Right, and
that's
I know
kind of the rinse repeat.
And I know like Ace was doing some research on this. We did. We talked about. What was it? The Pickery Blade, and we talked about.
The Master Sword?
Yes, the Master Sword, and how.
So is it confirmed that they are the same? Correct. Pickery Blade and the Master Sword.
Assume that yes, they are the same.
So let's, if y'all don't mind doing this, I know we're kind of getting in a roundabout way of getting there, but what is, I see that y'all have it in front of y'all, what is, just kind of go through the list of the games that we know chronologically in order for right now, like Nintendo official, like.
Maverick's busy. I'll go over it. So it starts off with Ocarina of Time.
All right.
And it splits off in 3 timelines.
Okay, so we got Ocarina of Time. Wait, okay, so we got Skyward Sword, right? Then we got Minish Cap.
No.
Nope.
It goes Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, then 4 Swords.
Then 4 Swords. So here's the thing about 4 Swords, right? That's the one that enabled you to play 4 different.
You can play multiplayer for all your friends.
Yeah.
I never really.
Which is that? Is there something with that? You know what I mean?
So yeah. So Vati and so he comes back after Minish Cap.
Okay.
Because so Link in Minish Cap Link learns about the backstory which created Vati into the the curse that made him the sorcerer, and so after he defeats him, Link and Zelda restore the Pickery Blade and use it to break the curse of Princess Zelda. Because she was turned to stone.
Yep.
At the beginning of Minish Cap, and so Link sets out on a new adventure, and so the Minish Cap is this actual like bird-like hat creature that he's got with his on his travels. So Link sets out to defeat Vati in 4 Swords, and this takes place, of course, we're back in Hyrule. Instead of Vati, I think captured Princess Zelda in 4 Swords, and he uses his power. Link has to use the power of the 4 Swords, which splits him into 4 identical versions of himself. So the whole game is based off of competition and cooperation between the players.
Yeah.
And so they have to solve puzzles together. They have to.
Yeah, I remember that one pretty well. As well, I remember actually. I think I owned that game in particular and played it a good bit.
And I'm hoping they bring it to.
It was neat.
I feel like just like Metroid, they're going to bring everything into the Nintendo Switch Online service.
Well, let me ask you this: what was your first Zelda experience?
First Zelda experience?
Yeah.
Twilight Princess.
Hey.
More darker vibe.
Yeah. Twilight Princess is sick.
Twilight Princess is one of my favorite games.
Like when I was little, I didn't understand it, but it was just such a cool game.
Yeah, I mean it is. Which that one's probably more convoluted than most, I think, just because it added like the.
Then like they had the books and everything.
Yeah,
I read those and.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so what happens is like once 4 Swords moves on and you get to Ocarina of Time, which, like again, Ocarina of Time. I still feel like it's a big tie between. Now, I mean, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, absolutely love those games. They are probably my favorite Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah.
But going back to the roots, Ocarina of Time and then Link to the Past are probably the best games. in the series, or what brought Legend of Zelda into a more like more popular state, because the original games were fun, but yeah, they weren't.
Well, you couldn't get the story of Zelda from those. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't get like what all Zelda was trying to what all the story of Zelda is trying to present to you,
Right.
With and they were very limited with the graphics and everything else.
Yeah.
There were so many things that limited them. So, I think what makes Ocarina of Time such a contender for like number one Zelda game is also the time in which it came out. I think was just so. I think it was very revolutionized. It revolutionized the way that people looked at games.
Yeah, because I mean, it was. I mean, yes, there was still a path to follow.
Yeah.
But it was considered the first open world
But,
Legend of Zelda
absolutely.
game. And I mean, which if you go back and look, Link to the Past was a very open world game. Again, it was very linear in its path.
There was some, for sure, yeah.
But it was a massive open world game. And I'll never forget playing it on the Super Nintendo as a kid, walking into the forest for the first time, and everything's foggy, and seeing the Master Sword in the, it was like a sword and a stone moment,
Yeah, yeah.
It's right there in the middle of the forest, and Link goes and just pulls it right out. It was awesome.
Oh, check out this sword right here.
But touching more on Ocarina of Time, I mean, so, it starts out with young Link, and he's raised in the forest.
Yep.
And the Great Deku Tree calls him, I need your help. And then
Yo, Link,
he sends him on to find,
we need some help.
the princess. And so he sneaks into the castle, and he sees, he discovers that he is the chosen hero of times past to wield the Master Sword. And I wish I would have played this again before we had this podcast, and I probably had time, but yeah, man, because it was such a good game.
Oh yeah.
And you see at one point Ganon running off with Zelda. So he has kidnapped the princess, and of course she's the same age.
Bro, she needs kidnap insurance. That's what she needs. She needs some. Either that high. Listen, if I was Link, I'd start charging.
You know what? I was wrong. Sheik has her. Ganon's after them, I'm thinking.
Wait, what?
Sheik and
I think
Sheik and Zelda are
no.
The same, right?
So
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah. Hang on, let me think. Yeah, so I guess Ganon does run off with her.
Dude, it's been so long. I'm trying to think. I mean, I want to say so because isn't that the premise of just about the entire game?
Yeah.
Once again, it's that rinse and repeat. So we got.
Or was it? It wasn't Sheik that ran. No.
Yeah.
It was her. Gerudo.
Who took? Let me Google.
Yeah, let me look this up
Because it's dude, it's like right there.
Yeah. So there's a Gerudo that is constantly, like, even in Skyward Sword, this Gerudo, because there's only a male born like every 100 years or something like that. Ganon was one of the males that was born into the Gerudo family.
Yeah, it just says Ganon.
Okay, so Ganon did run off with her.
Yeah.
Okay. So at some point she escapes because and then with the Temple of Time in Ocarina of Time, this is when the timeline gets split.
Yeah.
Because
into three.
Yeah, because so there, and I didn't realize this, but from Ocarina of Time, there's a timeline where Link dies.
bad ending.
Rip. R.I.P. Wait, there's a which one?
Okay, so in Ocarina of Time,
Uh-huh.
Link wins.
Yep.
Ganon is destroyed.
R.I.P.
Done.
To the homie.
Right. But I guess when Nintendo did Link to the Past, and they put it in the timeline, they went back and rewrote the end of Ocarina of Time, and Ganon kills Link.
Oh, really?
Yes, because that's how they set up the story. Because in A Link to the Past,
Is it? Wait. Whoa. Okay. So, in which one does he repeat that? Which one does he kill Link in?
so
It's not official.
right? Well, it is official according to Nintendo. It's official.
Okay.
So
Because
that is the official timeline?
No. There's because it splits into three
It splits
timelines.
into three.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
which timeline has it to where he's gone?
Okay, so-
A Link to the Past.
So there's three, and so what happens is at the end of Ocarina of Time, Okay, we're gonna go through each individual, and I'm gonna set up each timeline real quick.
Okay.
So, Ocarina of Time, Ganon destroys Link.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rip to the home.
that's one timeline.
Yeah.
The events of the games that come after that,
3 Stockton.
or is that oh yeah. As this Kazuya just like sniping Link.
Kamikaze him, grabbed him, just
Jeez.
flung him down. Hyrule what? Hyrule this.
That's right. and
Anyways.
so while
Kirby's over there just.
oh man, that's
All the-
awesome.
Yeah.
Hiya. All right, so
Making the same noises Link does.
okay, so then at the end of Ocarina of Time, another timeline, Link wins, but he returns to the timeline where he's a kid.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so
Following.
he's defeated. Yeah, because I think that is actually how it ends. He becomes.
So that's Link to the Past.
He returns. No, it's
Nope.
actually not.
Okay.
It's Majora's Mask, because that.
Gotcha, yeah,
right,
because he was a
right,
kid, yeah.
because he's a kid.
Yeah. He's a kid then. Okay.
And so then there's one where the hero lives. He stays in the adult timeline. Of course, he passes from old age. The next thing that happens is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Isn't that like the water one?
yeah.
Yes.
That's the like real.
So it's like,
cartoony
and
one.
everything takes
where
place
like Toon Link comes from.
Oh, okay.
tens and hundreds and thousands of years later, because
So.
all this has to be set up in legend.
Yeah.
Because everything rolls back to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. So Ocarina of Time
Three
produces
things.
3 things. So Wind Waker is one.
And it's because he jacked with the timeline.
Yeah. Ganon.
Link.
Link did.
Yeah, because he goes in, he inserts a sword into the Temple of Time,
Yeah,
and he becomes an adult. And then you have to do, like...
That's right.
you have to
yeah.
do dungeons as an adult. Then
Uh-huh.
you have to go back to being a kid. And
Yeah,
each time you have
okay.
to go back to the... And there's
Uh-huh.
those zombie things walking around that, like, latch onto you and, like, gnaw on your head.
Yeah. Okay.
And they
It's
can't-
all
you
coming
can't
back.
get 'em off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So when he did that, it split off into 3.
It split
Now
off.
is that symbolic of the Triforce itself, right? Because each
I don't
piece
think so.
is like representative of something.
Well, so...
Right? When they're like courage, wisdom, and
Power?
No, I don't remember the last one.
Power? Power?
Oh, power!
Wait,
Is it
wait.
power? Wait, no.
It could be the Triforce is Link, Zelda, and Ganon.
Well, I mean, Ganon holds...
Ganon would be power.
Ganon
Yeah,
holds
Ganon.
Ganon holds the Triforce of Power within him.
Yeah,
like
that's what I
each-
mean.
Yeah. Because they showed that in
And
Ocarina of
and
Time.
then Link is courage, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Zelda's
Wisdom.
helplessness.
Well, she
Get some help.
she's wise. She's just not.
That's when Michael Jordan pops up on the screen. Stop it.
She's got
Get
book,
some help.
It's book smart. It's not common sense.
Well, apparently.
Yeah, because she doesn't. They're gonna put the deadbolt on the door. Knock, knock. Who is it?
It's Ganon.
Special delivery.
Capture me, please.
You're not Ganon, are you? No. It's like, oh, okay. I'll just open up the door.
Oh, that's awesome,
dude. Ugh.
So that's what
I hate that trope.
That's
It
what
bothers
sets
me.
up. That's what
What?
sets up Link to the Past.
See,
Because
triggered.
in like in Link to the Past,
I'm about to start mooing.
there's two worlds. There's like the regular world, and then there's
Yeah.
the dark world.
Yeah.
And in a Link to the Past, he travels between that dark. Well, the dark
Okay,
world.
yeah.
The dark world is what Ganon created by getting the Triforce in
And
Ocarina of Time
after he killed-
and creating the dark world.
Yeah. After he killed Link.
Yes.
This is the world in which he killed Link. He took that and created
Yes,
the dark.
he
realm.
got the Triforce. He
Gotcha.
wished for a world of darkness, a world of monsters, a world of
Yeah.
evil, and so that's what
'Cause
that's
Ganon's
what
that
that
guy.
secondary world that you have to travel to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a Link to the Past. Then you got Wind Waker. So how does it explain it all like cartoony and stuff? I know that was just like the stylistic choice that they made. Are they just kind of overlooking that and saying, don't pay attention to the fact that it's
well,
weird?
I mean, everything is artfully done so different
Yeah.
that I think that they just I really do think that they just choose the art style based off how they want, because that cartoon art style, the stained glass that they used for the
do you fight Ganon and Wind Waker?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
See, I never got that chance to.
Yeah, Ganon is the big bad.
So
I mean,
so
Ganon
he's comes
like a
back again.
bigger looking guy too.
Because Ganon got beat in Ocarina of Time, right? And you said that Wind Waker is from the timeline in which Link stayed as an adult, ended up dying, and then years later, I guess another Link.
Yeah. Well, because it's always another Link. It's always another hero. It's only when darkness is returning
When Link,
the hero,
so
and that everything.
Link
sets
is
back
actually
up.
not. Link's an okay. This is gonna get weird.
Here's the
like
deal.
an
Is Link? Yeah, that's what I was
an
about to say.
embodiment of like power. I don't know.
Is Link a title? I
It's
know,
not a
like he's an
person,
actual
it's a-
person,
yeah.
but is Link like a title now?
Like you are Link.
Yeah, like if you're the hero of the story, are you Link?
Yes.
So does that apply to Zelda too?
Yes.
Like-
No, because we don't like her. No, no.
It's too easily captured. We don't.
Yeah. How you gonna be a hero? Can't even tie your shoe, dude. What's wrong with you? You don't. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was a king, I wouldn't tie my shoes either. I'd be like, No, I'm joking.
Peasant, I can't help but notice that it's not double looped. Get over here,
Do
peasant.
you want me to trip and
Oh,
fall?
oh,
Look
do-
like an idiot in front of my people?
Do you want the king to die or what? Get over here.
Off with his head.
What's that guy from Madagascar? King
Julian?
Yeah. Oh, Maurice, get over here, Maurice.
Maurice.
Oh, tie my shoe, Maurice. What are we doing? We like to move it. Yes, I don't like to move it with my shoe untied. Come on, Maurice.
Oh.
Anyways,
man.
so
How
so,
do we go?
Timeline so far. Timeline that we got so far.
You know how we can tie that in? Hey, we're staying on subject. Look, Madagascar. It was like a what am I trying to say?
A dope movie. I like to move it.
They
Watch me move it as I move my
palm
body.
Trees, so did Wind Waker. There we go. Let's talk about some Animal
The
Crossing.
connection. I like to move it. Well, let us move it. Why you move your body? Why don't we
let's
move our body?
on with the time.
Go, Gecko, go.
So from
Anyways.
Link to the Past. Okay, so you know he there was a wizard, Aghanim, I think is how you say his name is Aghanim. He captures Zelda. Does he capture or does he imprisons Zelda in the castle? Let's see. I can't remember if he turns her to stone. No, they escape. Yeah, they escape. And
I
then
would just imprison her myself.
Link's like, You get in that jail cell and you don't move. But you know what?
You're already captured.
It's Link's fault that this all started to begin with, because he had to go out and be a hero and make the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Him and
why did he have to make the Master Sword?
what was the Master Sword's Siri? Navi? Something like that? Navi?
Listen.
No, that was that was
That was
Navi.
the fairy.
That was
Navi.
the fairy Navi.
Yeah.
What was the entity that lived inside the sword?
Oh.
Fee. It was Fee.
Yeah.
That blue thing.
Weird.
Every time you upgraded the sword, did some like dance around the skating across the water or something. It's their fault that this whole thing is all jacked up like this.
Well, so if Ganon, let me ask you this. This might be, I think this is an interesting question. And you feel free to answer however you guys like.
And Ace, pop in whenever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think so? If Ganon ceases to exist, does that mean Link ceases to exist?
I would say yes.
Because because you keep saying that Link comes back, right? Is it like a reincarnation thing, or is it just like once again? Well, I guess if we've established that Link is like a title, then essentially it's just whoever is filling that just so happens to be blonde and.
Yeah, I mean, born of the same lineage, probably.
Like Link Jr. the Third, Eighth. Twice removed.
I say no.
And then back again.
He's his own grandpa.
Because Ganon's coming back. I'm coming back too. Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the family.
That would make you think that the whole kingdom of Hyrule is like, Prince. They do the whole Lion King hold Princess Zelda up, and she's like, yay!
Yeah, Ganon flies by.
You gotta.
I'll take that.
Tilts it from the king's arms. She's like holding up Zelda. He's like,
Zelda. Ganon goes up.
Well, that's the thing.
Thank you very much.
You got to think that all the people that live in the history are like, oh, here we go again.
Like the king sitting there. What shall we name this baby? Zelda. Everyone.
Everybody just looks at it.
Look, if I lived in the kingdom of Hyrule and the king had a Princess Zelda, I'd be packing up and moving to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Bro, can you? That would be so heated. Dude, the king's like, what would be a good name? Zelda would be a good name. I don't know why that's my king voice. Zelda would be a good name for this person, for my daughter. And first off, when the queen's like,
I'd be piecing out to let that Italian go over there in the Mushroom Kingdom. Let's go.
That's it. I'm quitting my job. But you were king. What are you gonna go do? It's better than a king. I'm going to be the plumber. Bro, can you imagine though? Like queen walks up to you and she says, "Hey, I'm Prego, and I ain't talking sauce, all right?" And then you're like, "Okay, all right, you Prego," and then she goes, "Yeah," and then the doctor comes in and says, "Congratulations, it's a girl." Every single one of them. Dude, Maury's in the background. Throwing his hands up. Oh no! All of Hyrule's like, ugh. And then the king's like, you know what? Zelda. Sounds like a good name. Jerry. Springer. Is there something that you want to say? You are not the father. Ganon pops up. That's my baby. That's. What just happened?
I don't know. Man.
Anyways,
it's been a long day at work.
Yeah, so
actually it was a short day.
It was a short day. So Ganon, yeah, dude, I would be heated. Long story short, and all of that illustration that went nowhere, I would be heated if that happened.
Yeah.
So, but like you were saying,
but it like has to happen.
A while back, you said that if there is no Ganon, then there's no Link. Yeah. I have to disagree, because in the first one, it's not Ganon actually.
True.
It's just like the demon, like the Prince of Evil or something like that, and Link's still there. So I don't think it has to be Ganon. So specifically, it just needs to be something like an evil.
That's interesting too, because Ganon. So I was actually going to ask because you talked about Demise, right? And then in the first two, Ganon wasn't the main bad guy, right? It was the wizard.
He pops in and Ocarina of Time.
Well, no. Ganon, Ganon is the final boss in Skyward Sword.
Okay, Ganon is the final boss.
So Demise is essentially the Demon King Ganon.
Okay.
Oh, so they're the same.
They're one and the same. Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and,
All right,
and I'm
see,
telling you, the last fight of that game, and I don't know if have you played Skyward Sword?
Yeah, I've played it.
You know,
like,
'cause
I
there's
remember.
that freak. There's that freaky dude with that does his tongue and is like,
Yeah, I know.
that weird looking guy.
I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, so
It's a little
but
weird.
in Link to the Past, going back to that, it is Agnem trying to, like, I don't remember if he's merging the worlds or if he's trying to bring Ganon over to this version of Hyrule, because Link bounces back and forth, and at the end you do fight Ganon in his,
So
ultra pig form, I guess.
Ganon's not trying to make it over in Link to the Past. He's not trying to make it over to the other realm, right?
Yes, he's trying to get over to the light world, and
Okay.
he is trying to destroy it as well.
Because I was about to say, I was like, if not, then Link's kind of rude. I was like, Ganon's just over minding his business in his dark realm.
No, see, the
I was like,
wizard
just let him
Agnem is working to bring
To help Ganon. He's working with Ganon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at one point in the battle with Agnem,
Ganon always scheming.
Link is transported to Ganon's tower in the Dark World, and he faces against the Ganon himself. Of course, it's his ultra pig form, because he goes from being like this big looking dude to like pig form, and wait till you see, because I know you haven't seen it. Wait till you see his form in Tears of the Kingdom. Man, it is like
The
it is
dragon.
awesome.
Oh,
You're talking about? Can I say it?
Dude, I don't mind the spoil.
It's not really a spoil. His final form.
Oh, I hadn't seen his final form. No, don't spoil
Oh,
it.
okay.
Please
Oh,
don't.
yeah,
Never
no,
mind.
no,
Yeah,
Never mind,
don't.
never mind, never mind.
No. I'm just talking about like during some of the memory scenes, because there's
Yeah.
these places that you visit. in the
But he
game.
big though.
I mean, dude, he
big?
looks.
He's giant.
He's and it's very samurai looking, like the art, like his art style. Because the Gerudo people are, they're sand people,
Yeah, they're
but
kinda
essentially.
tribal.
So yeah. But he is this, like, I don't know, man. He's
Like a
like,
shogun?
like hair pulled back, kind of shogun looking.
Yo.
Oh yeah, he looks really
Yeah.
awesome. They
Not
do.
look like he's suffering from male pattern baldness.
No, like he did in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
he kind of
yeah.
looked pretty,
Look,
pretty rough in Ocarina of
Yeah.
Time.
about to say something, but that against it. That against it.
He paused. So
Pause.
after Link to the Past, and of course, again, Link wins.
Yep.
And so the next one
Got that
is
Link's
Link's Awakening. Okay, now this one is where it gets really weird. Link, it's he okay, so he's on a boat. I'm assuming this is the same Link from A Link to the Past. He's a little older.
Yeah.
All right, so
He ends up crashing it on the
he
shore.
crashes on the shore.
Yeah.
And there's an egg on top of a volcano.
Uh-huh.
There's all this weird stuff, and so the game takes a weird turn. It's really fun,
Which is a remake, right? No, Link's Awakening is a remake from the
so you
original.
can play Link's Awakening on the Game Boy
Yeah.
version of the Nintendo Switch Online.
Uh-huh.
If you want to play a really good version, and again, it took a hit because the art style. It's a little chibi art style,
Yeah, the newer one for the
but
Switch.
it was really good.
Yeah, that was the very first game I ever purchased for the Switch.
Oh, is it really?
Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's
was
fun. It's
a
a
phenomenal
blast.
game.
It's
yeah,
fun.
it's super fun.
Yeah.
But Link ascends to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He confronts the nightmares, the embodiments of the windfish, which is apparently what is creating this world that he is in.
Okay.
And so when he does that, he finds out, because there's a kind of like a bittersweet twist. Link learns that the island and its inhabitants, including his newfound friends, will cease to exist once the windfish awakens.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
Link has to say, bye to the island. He awakens on the raft at sea. unsure if his adventure merely was a dream or real or a distant memory. So, you know, it's really fun. It's a good game to get into and play through at least once or twice. I mean, it's short, so I mean you could probably play through it a couple times.
I think what happened that game, Link kept eating too much of those Hyrulean mushrooms. That's what was happening.
The shrooms?
Yo, yeah. And he was hungry. He wanted some fried eggs because he had that egg on top of that volcano.
Yeah. He was. It's
Had
coming
the
together.
I wasn't gonna eat that egg though because that egg had purple spots on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it had purple spots. Was it blue or purple?
I don't know, but I'm sure after he ate after he ate the mushrooms, I doubt he cared.
Yeah.
He had dry mouth.
Yeah,
He was drinking the salt water.
Zelda!
He's
having a Wilson moment.
He needed a. Well, you know, and okay, so
Zelda.
you know what? We had a Link game where Zelda didn't get captured.
Dude, praise the Lord.
But-
Lord be praised.
The Lord be praised.
He made it out.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not played the Oracle games.
I haven't
That
either,
is next in the timeline. I'm hoping that they do come to the GBA stuff.
So that takes place after Link's Awakening?
Yes.
So, like, wherever he goes on that, is it the same Link, or is it a new Link just down that timeline?
I believe it is,
Which is super
a new
confusing.
Link because
All
this
right.
one is in the land of Holdrum and Labrina. So each game, Oracle Seasons and
I
Oracle
wonder
of-
if these are... So, are these nations that exist in other timelines as well? Just not...
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, are they existent in the world? Right, because at the end of the day, they all have the same root, and that is Ocarina of Time. Which
Well-
means that, in theory, they would all have the same, at least, world structure?
From what I understood is that
Maybe the nations change?
Hyrule is
America.
yeah, I mean yeah, essentially yes. Most of the
Shit.
timelines take place within Hyrule.
Yeah.
But the problem is you know, you get like something like Minish Cap where it is still Hyrule, but it's different. You know, there's variations to the stories,
Yeah.
and because these games happen hundreds of years later, you know, it obviously culture has changed. Obviously, multiple things have changed.
I'm sure having to go through the things that, like, say in Link to the Past, having to go through the fact that Ganon actually won that one,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
would alter the course of, I guess, how the world looks,
Yeah.
right? Because obviously, I mean, he's going to probably, you know, shatter a lot of things, but okay. I mean, just a thought here, you know, to see how deep the change. You know, it's almost like thinking about time travel, right? And I know this is kind of a little off topic, but you know, y'all heard about the dangers of, like, actually time traveling, right? Like in just movies and games and in general. Right?
I hold true to my roots. I always go back to my Back to the Future stuff.
Yeah. Don't make up with your mom.
That definitely ain't it.
Remember the dangers of time traveling, guys. Avoid your mothers at all costs.
Oh man.
Marty McFly, man.
Let's go back to the Terminator time.
Yes, let's go. Yeah. And we will not be back to that one.
No.
But I mean, what I meant by that statement was, like, so for instance, you've heard about, like, the dangers of time traveling, like if it actually existed, right? I know some people are, obviously have thought about this way deeper than I have, but there's kind of like this general mindset that we have, like, if you were to be able to go back in time, you know, people are like, be very careful what you do, right? Because you can alter, like, the course of reality.
Yeah, like you kick
which
a stone.
Yeah, you step on a butterfly
Yeah,
and
and
you
it's
come
like-
back and there's a nuclear war going on, right? You know,
Yeah.
something like drastic, right?
Flashpoint Paradox is coming out. You know,
Yeah,
new
the
Flash
DC?
movie, right?
Yeah.
And so that is gauged around what, you know, Barry wants. You know, his mom. He doesn't want his mom to die.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't want his dad to go to jail.
Yeah, and so he ends up correcting it, and then he comes back and like everything's
Yeah, I'm
Everything's,
ready.
like,
I'm ready to see
completely-
how that movie is, because I don't know if either one of y'all have watched like the animated
Yeah.
universe of them.
Yeah.
That was good.
I don't. I know of them, but I know they're kind of. And
It's
guys,
more, it's more gritty.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, you know, we kind of being a family friendly podcaster as much as we possibly can. I would encourage that, you know, it is not kid friendly in a lot of those.
Some of those
Yeah.
are labeled in the and I'll warn you because I know this because my kids have seen it pop up on their HBO stuff because I even have them even like down as low as like Y7 and stuff.
Yeah.
And those movies will show up as for kids movies, and I'm like, no,
Wow,
I've
really?
seen
They're
a
not-
couple of
yeah,
those, and
they're
they're
not.
not.
You know, just because they're superheroes and that concept is a very juvenile one, or at least one that we know relates to kids.
Right.
You know, I mean, listen, my daughter, one of her favorite things, we're talking about embodiment. My daughter literally embodies whatever she puts on in terms of pajamas, right? Like her pajamas become her, right? So like last night she was Buzz Lightyear because she had Buzz Lightyear pajamas on. So she like acted like she was flying around, and she was like, to infinity and beyond, you know, it's adorable, right?
Yeah, right.
Spider-Man is like her favorite, right? She's
start,
like
Man,
she
you
like
bring
puts
it
on
off the
Spider-Man.
walls.
You're raising that kid right.
I'm trying to. That's my favorite. But Spider-Man's her favorite, so she'll go around and she's like, Spider-Man pajamas, and we're like, yes, you can have them today.
You know what?
And she'll go.
Look. We're gonna cycle back around to that. Let's remember Spider-Man there for a little while because I changed my mind. I think we are gonna trigger sprites today. I remember a story I read last night. We're gonna do some triggering here in a minute.
I'm praying.
But
Yeah. Well, I'm praying.
so we got time for this. We're gonna jump back into this timeline.
Yeah. Well,
All
we
right.
we can. So this is one, right? We're getting.
Yeah, and I mean the other ones are pretty quick. You know,
Yeah.
I mean it's just like bam, 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 one right after another. But like Link Between Worlds, I've never played that. I heard it was really good. I think that one was on 3DS.
I've played that one. When I got my 3DS,
Yeah.
I played it. I have like a small memory of it, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. They said that it was almost a retelling of Link to the Past, except for the way you traveled between the worlds were like, I guess through was it stained glass?
Yeah,
Was it
and
through, like,
you
stained
could
glass
become like 2D almost or
Yeah,
something.
and kind of
And
walk
like
through like on
it
walls
was like
and stuff.
it's kind of like the Paper Mario.
Oh right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
It had like a similar feel to that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I need to get that and play that because
Yeah.
I those neat little games like that I love. And then so, of course, next is Triforce Heroes, which you know this one is a different kingdom as well. It's Hytopia, and the mechanics of the Triforce Heroes is you play and communicate, strategize. It was another like work together type thing.
I'm still wondering, and not to continue to bog down in this one timeline, but I'm still wondering how all of these get kind of placed in this one universe. You know what I mean? Like, as to
I think they follow mostly the same suit because
like I guess all of these are
you're going to see a little bit different
Yeah.
than the other timelines. So they
Okay.
kind of follow like okay, here's Zelda. She either falls asleep, gets kidnapped. Ganon is the cause of it, and then so the last one in that timeline is the original Legend of Zelda, 1986, and then
snap!
and
Really?
then the next one, the Link's what's it called?
The Adventure of Link.
Yeah, the Adventure of
Yeah.
Link. And so that is the same Link. It's set years after.
Gotcha. Okay.
Same
cool.
kind of thing. Here comes
So
Ganon again.
this is where the original Zelda's. This is the original Zelda.
The Jewish people were screwing up again and having to be reprimanded.
Yeah.
I mean,
Israelite people.
it's
Oh man, we're not gonna have any Israelites.
no, it is
9. 9.
Oh, Ace, bring it.
What he means to say is 9. We'll have 9 Jewish people.
9 Jewish people.
Not like, this. Not like Berlin, you know. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay, let's jump back up to the top. The hero
Our
lives.
Germans just spiked it.
Oh,
German. Hey, we like you.
Yeah, we like you. You do good.
You do good.
No, I guess that would be Russian. Oh,
no,
man.
they're too busy dealing with snow.
Oh, yeah, I don't want no part of that. So, okay, back to Ocarina of Time.
Okay. Going
You
back,
know,
that was the
so
first
Link,
time.
Link wins, puts the sword back in the Temple of Time. He turns back into a kid.
Yeah.
He goes to the land of Termina, and that's where he finds, he stumbles on the Skull Kid, and, the Skull Kid possesses a powerful artifact called the Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
That starts that whole adventure. If you hadn't played that is a weird freaking game. I enjoyed Ocarina of Time. I enjoyed Majora's Mask. I did not play it enough to. I don't think I ever finished it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think. Now it was praised for its dark and mature themes because it was a much darker Legend of Zelda game.
That's the one where the moon is like falling down.
Yes, and time is in a loop. Yeah. And so in that instance, I feel like the one the timeline we just talked about, Link dying, that would technically be pretty dark. But this timeline where he lives and he's a kid and then he moves into the Majora's Mask era and then of course he dies, I'm assuming from old age. It never really says, but after Majora's Mask is Twilight Princess. I mean, so you've got a timeline with two of the darkest games in the entire series in this, up until Breath of the Wild, and because I'm telling you, man, when the Dark Moon rises, no, the blood moon, when the blood moon rises,
their eyes turn red, and they're like way more.
Like, why are you not checking out of Hyrule?
You don't want to be on that side of night.
Yeah, for sure. Like what?
I mean, I'd have Link on the shore, Ultra handing me some boats, and I'd be hightailing it out
Listen,
of there.
it's literally like every horror movie that has like some sort of demonic possession or something like that, dude. The moment that a glass case just flings wide open with a little creepy doll in it, I'm gone. Okay? I'm burning the house down. I'm getting insurance money. I'm leaving, and you can't prove nothing. All right?
I mean,
I am gone, dude.
I don't even want the insurance money if it's got a doll involved.
No,
in
absolutely. True. You might be right,
Look,
dude.
my wife. Okay, look, we're gonna.
As much as I don't want it, we're sitting up.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I love my wife to death, and she listens to the podcast sometimes. So if she's listening to this, baby, I'm sorry for bringing this up, but she wants to watch. She loves. We watch horror movies occasionally. It's not something. Demonic possession stuff is not something that we tend to watch. She's not a big fan of like watching stuff like that.
Yeah, it's normally not like a date night thing. Where you're like, hey, let's go get some popcorn and
the last one we watched on a date night was Exorcism of Emily Rose, and when that old girl crawled up that wall, she was done. But I'll tell you this, I really. So she likes to freak me out about stuff, and so one thing and just getting into Maverick's personal life a little bit, dolls creep me out. I had a buddy one time that like his grandmother had a hallway full of like porcelain dolls, and the whole house was like full of dolls. You walk out of his bedroom and you look down the hallway and there's this doll staring at you. Man, I had nightmares for years about that kind of stuff.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how he lived in the house, but so her big thing, she's been wanting to watch this Megan.
That movie's not that good.
And so I'm like, it's like mixing two things that freak me out. One, artificial intelligence. quit making AI. I mean, Chat GPT, that's great to use for helping write papers and stuff. I know a couple people have done that. You don't copy and paste. You're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Plagiarism. 2.
Bad boys. What you going?
It's gonna remember you.
Yeah. Always treat Siri with respect. I tell Liz, and I don't get on Siri very often.
I told you I changed my Siri to an Indian voice.
Yeah. Dude,
I love the jokes. I mean, I like for Siri to tell me jokes in an Indian accent.
I say
it's
thank
funny.
you and yes, and no ma'am, yes ma'am. Siri, I treat Siri with a lot of respect.
I'm surprised all of our phones aren't going off.
Neither one of y'all has Snapchat, but Snapchat did a Snapchat AI thing.
What? There's a AI for Snap?
It's crazy. Like you'll just ask it questions. It's like responds like that. You'd have full conversations with it. I haven't touched it. I'm a little worried it's gonna get my address something.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean,
you're gonna go be rude to it, and it's gonna send an attack drone your way.
Well, back to the Megan thing. I mean, and dude, you take a doll and then you put artificial intelligence in it. That is not a movie I want to watch.
Yeah, like what? You're setting yourself up for failure.
I mean, that's gonna freak. I mean, half of that will freak me out.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch something like that. But she wants to watch it so bad, and I'm like, I know you do. And
get this. So why are we making this doll? What's the point of us? And I haven't watched the movie.
It's to be friends with this little girl.
Yeah,
go make some friends.
Get out of the house.
Oh, I'm sitting up. I'm getting triggered.
It's social media.
Go make some friends, dude.
Look,
They're like, we gotta make this AI that's capable of like processing information
and
1,000 times quicker than mankind.
Don't give it like killer instincts or something like that, or the ability.
They're like
it has a
they
sword.
They got the kindness chip right here, and they're like, forgot to put that in.
Oh, we don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the Chucky
market
thing.
people.
That goes back to the Chucky thing. Well, like, who's gonna give a kid a doll that looks like that?
Oh,
it's
for
the size
sure.
of the kid too, like toddler size.
Yeah, shave
I'd be
first. Be
kicking that thing out the window.
Shave the head. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be pouring water on Gizmo and letting the gremlins take care of that thing.
Why you gonna treat Chucky like that?
No, I don't want Chucky. No.
Is it because he looks like a
stepchild?
We'll beat him like a red-edged stepchild.
Welcome to DWG. We're getting canceled on episode 10.
Woo, it's been fun making double digits.
We made it to episode 10. Hey, look, that's a milestone.
Hey, if you have been satisfied by the well, go find another one because we're dried up. But anyways, so yeah, the point that I'm trying to make with that is like, why are we staying in this situation? Why are we staying here?
Yeah.
As like individuals, they're like, oh man, but like I just really love the people here at this area. Yeah. Well, you can meet some nice people across the sea where Ganon's not trying to nuke the entire continent.
Yeah, find that Animal Crossing island and live there.
The one kingdom that Ganon's like, I can't help but notice that it's not on international news that any other princess is being abducted. You want to know why? He doesn't care about other nations. He cares about yours.
You go to the palm trees. You live with the talking raccoon.
Hey, you
don't like raccoons?
What's that?
I wouldn't want to go to Tom Nook's Island because then you got to avoid tax evasion because the taxes.
True.
Well, I mean that's true. But
getting
that may be
attacked by
Ganon.
Getting attacked by Ganon, paying taxes.
Okay, but could you imagine what your
what if Ganon taxes?
Oh,
well, that's the thing. I mean, you're talking
about money,
insurance. I mean, your house insurance is going to be out because not everybody's got the ultra hand like Link and walk around and be like building stuff.
Yeah, Link's house gets demolished and he's like, yeah, kills whoever demolished it.
While everybody else is
cue the Lego building noise from all the Lego shit. But, much better. Yeah, no, ain't nobody like that. But
No.
that is interesting, though. The point that you kind of getting back on topic. It's interesting that like the one timeline out of both of them, right? Because the 3 timelines that we got so far, you got the first one that we've covered already, and that is the one where Ganon actually wins,
Yes.
kills Link,
Yeah.
and then later on, I guess another Link emerges,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you got it all the way down to where we get the very first Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Then you got this one that would seem like it would be the most lighthearted of the 3 choices, in that he wins, he takes the Master Sword back and places it back in the stone and reverts back into a child, and you would think, okay, so now he gets to live the rest of his life actually learning how to growing up and becoming this adult that he was when he defeated Ganon.
Right.
And so you think, okay, this is a good story, you know.
I mean, at that point, I would be like, adulting sucks. I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, I'm going back to a kid for a little bit. You know, and so you would think that, once again, it would be lighthearted. But it's interesting that we see... So it's almost like when you notice that one of the very first ones in A Link to the... This thing's just falling off. When you notice that in A Link to the Past... even though Ganon won, he was still limited in this realm, a separate realm. Did y'all catch that?
Are you talking about?
Like in A Link to the Past, you know. So when Ganon wins, here, let me lower this down. When Ganon wins, but why is he? If he's already won, why is he having to fight to get back to this realm? You know what I mean? Isn't that weird?
Well, so it seems like it's because Ganon won,
Yeah.
and Ganon still lives. There had to be a way for the timeline to restart,
To correct itself.
Yeah, right. So
it's almost like when the negative prevails or the evil prevails, then that means that the timeline is going to be predominantly more good.
Well,
which is interesting because it's going to produce.
Okay.
It can only produce good.
Right.
Where in this particular instance, you see that Link is prevailing. In both of these cases, Link is prevailing, but then you see that it's darker.
Yeah.
Because you begin to because now, in order to correct the timeline to correct itself again, since good prevailed, now evil has to emerge.
Right. And so that's the whole thing. So with with that,
so you get Majora's Mask, you get Twilight Princess. What else do you get?
So after Twilight Princess, of course, Link travels across Hyrule. He meets I'm gonna butcher this, Midna, and reveals the Twilight Realm. And then of course, he stays Wolf Link, through a lot of the game, which is pretty neat. And in the end, it's renowned for its dark, mature storytelling. Gameplay was amazing. Between the darkness and light of the human and wolf forms for Link. Link learns that the greater threat lurking behind Zant's actions. So Zant was, I guess he was like a fill-in king. And so Zant's actions, caused the entity known as Ganondorf, who seeks to claim the Triforce, like always, because the Triforce, you gather the 3 pieces of the Triforce, and you are granted any wish that you would like.
Yeah.
And so Ganon is constantly trying to get the Triforce.
So the comment that Ace made earlier about Zelda being one, is this the reason why he continues to try to go after Zelda?
Yes. Yeah, so
Zelda is confirmed.
I have another question for y'all. Is Ganon the same Ganon? Because
No,
No, he would be-
I
is he-
think he's reborn just like Lincoln.
So do you think that Ganon? But here's the thing too. So it's like Ganon born and raised up like a child, or is he just?
Or is he
So,
just
okay,
like?
so-
or is
so
he
here-
just born with the demons? He's like,
he-
all right, time to go
Could-
catch.
yeah.
them."
Is he born innately with this desire to
Yeah, to
obtain
go
the Triforce?
to go take
Here's the
Zelda.
thing. So because of what he's born into, in most of the games, he's born into the Gerudo village.
Yeah.
They only have a male every 100 years. So it's like this is why 100 years. So this is why every 100 years it's like time is resetting because or a new story takes place because that's something that continues to happen.
Okay.
So and you know, I mean,
So
that,
if he ever obtains the Triforce, then he could actually reverse.
He can stop the cycle.
Okay, wait. Okay, a little logical fallacy here that I'm starting to look at though. Okay, in Ocarina of Time, the very first one that we covered already, Link loses. And he already had Zelda.
right.
Did he not obtain the Triforce then?
Yes, and that's what he did. He wished for the Dark Realm. He wished for the realm to become...
Ganon's not aware of the cycle.
Yes, he is. And
Well,
Ganon...
then why didn't he wish for the cycle to not?
I don't think it worked. I don't think that's the
Like
one
you
wish
can't,
that
you,
can...
You can't reverse it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because, and that's the thing. In each game, it talks about, you know, the hero. It talks about, you know, the sages or the
You can't reverse it because Nintendo says.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Nintendo's like not being
you-
reversed
you're-
right now.
You're canceling their
Right, because
their-
that would make more
their
sense
cash
to me. Is wish for an existence where Link is no longer in existence, because that means
Right.
that takes away from the only adversary that you have, the only person that can stop you in your goals. The one guy that has literally done nothing but caught W's off of you his entire existence.
except for once.
Yeah, except for one. Like, yeah, literally,
but
you're
then he
like
goes back and
1 for 20.
Yeah,
right
he
now,
redeems
dude.
himself
Yeah.
like 8 times after that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Hey, he hit the gym, and ever since then he hasn't been beat.
He even beat
You know?
you as a kid.
Yeah, he's over here
toddler.
crossing you up. Hey-ya. Ganon's over here. Maybe I should. You know what? I want to wish for a pad. You know, I want to wish for a crib.
Yeah.
That sounds.
And that's what he does. He essentially wishes the
dark
darkness
realm,
take over the realm, and it does. And basically the light realm spawns on top of, you know, in
because it can't be stopped.
right. Like Link obviously can't be born in the Dark Realm. Zelda can't be born in the Dark Realm because that has been taken over by Ganon. So
Yeah.
you know, a new realm is created just so these
Layered
two can
on it,
exist. Between realms. So the Four Swords Adventures is next. I didn't do a whole lot of messing research on that.
Yeah,
You know,
I
we've
wouldn't.
already kind of talked about as
And the
you
last
know.
one is when he stays an adult.
Yeah, so he stays
doesn't
an
revert
adult.
back.
I'm assuming he dies as a
Yeah.
you know. And then
Wind Waker
the events of Wind Waker, which, you know, that we see the whole world flooded. The King of Hyrule is a boat.
Yeah.
You know, he is an entity living in a boat.
Still not the craziest thing we've talked about so far.
No, not at all. And then from Wind Waker we got Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which were
I've not played
things.
either one.
Well, see, I have Phantom Hourglass. It was a little weird. It was kind of hard. I don't remember really playing it a whole lot. But they are games based off of the Wind Waker saga. So Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks is actually really neat because they're rebuilding the world after the water has receded. So the water begins to recede, and Spirit Tracks is about them building,
Yeah.
traversing the land again that has
Okay.
been underwater for so many years. But man, that about wraps up the timelines.
So the real question is now, where do these fall in?
Okay, so I'm gonna go off on a little thing. I think that every other one, it's always been a different Link. I think that in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's the same Link. Takes place like
Okay, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
they're the same Link.
Oh,
they're the
absolutely.
same.
Yeah,
they're the same.
of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I was talking about Mav3rick about this earlier, but I think because in the trailer it shows that the Master Sword gets broke.
Uh-huh.
I think that the next,
Yeah,
if they even
like
do
wraps
make,
on his arm.
if they do even make a new one, it's gonna break it. Like, cycle's gone.
Well, see, so that's what I thought about Tears of the Kingdom is once the mummy, the mummified remains grabs the sword and it does shatter because everything is rusted in this world.
Yep.
So after this darkness kind of floods the world, all weapons are like rusty.
Yeah,
Link is out for a little bit after because we've talked about this. The first scene in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But because we did confirm that was the first scene from the trailer that was part of the game.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so,
which I figured it would be.
It's kind of one of the things like Link wakes up, and I don't know. I don't think it really ever. He's not out for long, but events happen. It explains the hand deal, how he gets this. But absolutely same Link. I do feel like with the Master Sword, and at the point that I'm at, I'm thinking that the Master Sword can get rebuilt. I'm not sure, but at this point, there is no...
So, I would say this, with the Master Sword being destroyed, does that that doesn't necessarily mean that the Triforce is destroyed.
No,
because the Triforce is Link.
The Triforce
It's like
is living inside of those individuals, right?
Yes.
Link, Zelda, Ganon.
yes.
But the Master Sword. So what's the big thing about the Master Sword? And the Master Sword also has the Triforce inside of it, right?
It's the only thing that it has the ability to destroy demise. The entity that is
Ganon.
the entity, yes, that eventually becomes Ganon, and
So, so that doesn't necessarily mean I think that the cycle would be broken. Now, so in saying that, I don't necessarily disagree with you either. Like, I think it's possible, for sure, that like if the Master Sword were to be broken, and maybe in order to restore the Master Sword, in order to beat Ganon, right, it might force them to have to, I don't know, maybe give up their own, or give up who they are, or whatever. I don't know, some way of like restoring the Master Sword by using the fact that the Master Sword was assembled through the Triforce, and you are the Triforce essentially, right, as Link and Zelda, and then you can accumulate that while fighting Ganon.
right.
Maybe they have some sort of sick cinematic or something where it shows that in the middle of fighting Ganon,
I will say the cinematics,
it assembles, and
the cinematics in this are amazing. The game itself, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. I mean, yes, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of differences. Mainly being the way you tackle different tasks. I mean, everything seems to be different on this, and so going into that, I don't want to spoil it too much. I want to give before we may come back to this and talk about maybe.
Well, I would say this. What do y'all think? Which 3 timelines do y'all think it's falling under? I'll give my opinion first. This is probably the least informed opinion here, because I think both y'all know more than I do about this topic. But from what it sounds to me like maybe the third timeline where he stays.
You think the Wind Waker timeline?
I believe. Well, going based off of a few different things, right? Like the world in ruin, right? And we see that the Wind Waker starts off with the world flooded, and now we're seeing the opposite of that, where like and then you have. Did you say it was a Phantom Hourglass that they're trying to rebuild, or is that
the Spirit Tracks? Yeah,
Spirit Tracks they're trying to rebuild, and so we see that in this world it's very much so still broken down.
Yeah,
you were talking about Russ and many other things. It almost seems like the world is almost like in a not post-apocalyptic, but you know it's almost to the point where it almost seems uninhabited in a lot of ways.
And see, in that regard, you have to look back at Breath of the Wild, because I mean, how long was Link asleep? 100 years? Because Zelda fought Ganon off for 100 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's a big dub. That's a dub.
I mean, she finally stepped up. She's not being.
She put her.
Yeah, she's the main character now.
Right there.
Yeah. And so she
Big
put because Link, Link was hurt, so they got Link to a healing chamber, and where he slept for 100 years.
Yeah.
And so
he got a Zenkai boost.
Obviously, right. So
he came in and started whooping up on him like a sand.
The cycle was frozen for 100 years instead of the cycle being, reworked 100 years later. Mm-hmm. It was frozen for 100 years, and so for 100 years,
interesting.
Hyrule is frozen in time, essentially. Things went on around, but Zelda was in constant combat. And Link was recovering for 100 years.
Okay.
And so I think that more or less, I'm going to say that I feel like the middle timeline where we have Twilight Princess and we have Majora's Mask, I feel like that is, because that is probably the best timeline that actually allows for a reset.
Okay, yeah. Does Spirit Shackles, or Spirit Tracks, rather, does that end? How does that end?
I don't know. I hadn't played it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's good. See, I don't know. It just kind of sounds, like I said, it just sounds like that, but I think we could probably be in agreement that it's probably not the first. I don't think it would be the first, just because it seems like the first seems concluded.
I really feel like almost that.
I believe the first almost seems concluded at this point.
Well, and that's the thing. You see different things from each timeline in these, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like maybe it brings the timelines back together to where we have one timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's interesting. I also kind of look at it, and maybe I'm looking at it wrong, right? But and I've already made this before. Looking at the timelines, it looks like the first one, obviously, with him dying, it seems like it would be the darkest one. But we've already talked about the fact that that one is almost seems as though it's generating more good than anything, because it has to in order to reset.
Right.
And then we said the middle seems the opposite of that, where it has to generate an evil because Ganon proceeds to continue to lose. Right, where in the third one, and this is kind of maybe more a logistical reason why I'm picking this as well. It seems like the third is more in a neutral state, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
speaking of maybe a state of like it being frozen, right? Or so
not as much turmoil, because
it's not as one-sided, right? And so you would and one you see that Ganon wins, and the other you see that Link wins. Where in this one, Link wins, but the conclusion of it is that Link dies off to the point where it's almost like Link staying an adult caused him to reset with Ganon earlier.
Right.
So him and Ganon are closer in proximity of restarting the timeline, which means that they would start off in a neutral plane again.
Right.
Which would be more like Ocarina of Time than anything else.
Yeah.
Right, which it would make sense then if are you guys kind of following me here?
Yeah,
right. Speaking, like in my mind, it would make sense that we're following this kind of neutrality between all the games so far. It doesn't look like one is going one way or another, and to the point where maybe it supports this theory that this is going to be some of the final games that will tie up and unify all of the ones back to a state of neutrality.
Yeah, a single timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
Back to the a singular timeline,
Right.
right? Where Link and Ganon continue to, I hate to put it in, I guess put it in gamer terms, continue to respawn the same time.
Yeah.
Right? Where now, with Zelda holding them off for 100 years, it doesn't look. It probably seems like Ganon's winning a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Because all throughout the history so far, Ganon has always been able to overpower Zelda. And so due to the help of Link, we see that he overcomes Ganon.
Right.
So with with Link being out of commission for 100 years, it only makes sense that Ganon slowly starting to win, but now Link is coming into the picture.
Right.
Which is the cycle resetting itself. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, kind of a explanation in my mind that would help explain the third option, but I guess we'll see when it releases.
So,
dude, if it releases one though, I'm triggered. What?
So what? So okay, let me get your quick opinion. Ace, favorite game
Favorite game?
of the Zelda timeline.
I'm Breath of the Wild or Twilight Princess. I mean,
Surprise?
Oh, I'd have to say, yeah, and I'm gonna trigger people, but Breath of the Wild or not Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry, Twilight Princess for me.
Yeah.
I love Twilight Princess.
it's just a fun.
It's super fun.
Like it's so hard for me to choose.
It gives me like
because-
Skyrim vibes.
Like kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It like how Skyrim has more of that
Well,
dark,
and
not like a dark theme, but it's just like dark.
I don't know. It's a pretty dark theme too. wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think to me, and I'll just say this: I'm not saying that these are better games. I'm just saying that I like them better, and I think a large part of that is just nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of the biggest ones that I played Ocarina of Time and really enjoyed it, but I don't think I was at an age where like, because Zelda, seems like a kid's game, but then when we get to talking about it, we realize that, how many kids are really able to grasp this? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. For sure. Well, and that's the thing. Like for me, it's a Link to the Past. That was the game that got me.
Link to the Past is good.
That was the game that got me into the Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
From that, I would say.
Would you say? Yeah, you're not saying that. Obviously, is nowhere near like Tears of the Kingdom or anything like that in terms of like gameplay.
Well, no. I mean,
but nostalgia reasons. Is
for nostalgia mainly only. Yeah. Because yes, anybody's. Look, I'm sorry if you love Legend of Zelda games and I see where Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
He's making one of them weapons from
for
Tears. One of them destroy all weapons.
But so it is neat to see the series go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Fully open world, complete. Again, we talked about this the other day. I hate seeing Koroks on the side of the road because they're like, I need to reach my friend, and I'm like, where's your friend at? And I see a smoke signal down the road, and I'm like, well, I could build this wagon over here with all this stuff. Or I could just I could just glue you to the harness and drag you down the road.
Yeah.
I bet you never ask for help again.
Yeah.
And so,
Don't ever ask for help
depending
again.
on what kind of mood I'm in, depending on kind of what, or just strap a rocket to him and just launch him that way.
I need to get over there. Right away, sir.
Did you ever?
Oh, yeah.
You did the minecart thing where like you attached all the minecarts in Tears of the Kingdom?
No, I didn't do the mine. I used one mine cart. I didn't attach a whole bunch of mine carts.
I attached every one. Like you got to pick them up and carry them to the next thing that you had to go with the minecart.
Oh, maybe I did do that.
Yeah, I had a bunch.
I know there was a shrine. It was like playing Floor's Lava, and so I just had this little fire hydrant thing, and I put it on this. I poured water on the lava, and it made it solid, and so I picked that up and just started moving it around, and by the whole time I could walk on lava because I could just walk across.
See, I do like that in terms of like gameplay. It seems like it really rewards those with like the that have like a very creative mind.
Well, and not just that, but I mean, it allows you to tackle the problem the way you want to.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not as creative as the person next to me. So while they may be able to attach a bunch of lasers to a drone and make it fly up in the air and destroy one of the 3-headed Ganon dragons, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go in swords ablazing. You know, I'm going to go in with my stick and my fused boulder. And I'm going to poke this thing and piss it off and
then back up. Play like you're playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, I mean, I may die 25 times, but I'm going to get it eventually.
What is the 5 Ds? Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Oh, is that for Elder Scrolls?
No, that's from the movie Dodgeball.
Oh, I was like, is that
dodge?
Is that
dodge,
how you beat bosses in Elden Ring? Because
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Okay, so
I dodge twice.
I have 5 Ds for Elden Ring. Yeah, it's die again.
Die hard.
That little attachability is crazy.
Yeah.
There was I think I sent it to you, Mav3rick. There's a video. It's like an animated thing, and he like grabs a stick. He could have ended the whole game in just a minute. He should have just like attached it to one of those islands. Just boom, right at Ganon.
You pick up an island?
No, but like you can pick up the giant rocks and everything. You go on YouTube, you can see people just like attaching all kinds of stuff to it. It's crazy.
Don't worry. In about a week, it's gonna be me.
Well, hey, I say us 3 get back together after you've had time to play Tears of the Kingdom, and we get back and we have just a Tears of the Kingdom episode, because I think it would be funny to talk about some of the stupid stuff we've done.
Dude, that's when we need. Listen, that's when we need videos so that we can start showing it. We can have clips and we can show
face reveal.
Yeah, because here's what happened. I was on the beach. And it would, of course, you know, I'm like riding the roads, trying to open up the map and stuff, and I find this Korok, and he's like, I need to reach my friend. I'm like, okay, well, there's smoke signals down the beach. Let me just attach you. I drag him down, and my wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get this dude over here with his friend. And
I'm playing
the whole
Legends
time,
of Red Dead.
It's like, bam! He hits a rock. He goes, oof!
Oof!
And then I'm dragging him
down back there
under the water. I'm like, you want to reach your friend? You shut up and take it.
TJ, what did you say?
Waterboarding the Korok.
Pull him out. Hey.
I mean, technically he's a plant, so I mean, I'm helping him, right?
I think
I'm dragging him through the water, and then I'm pulling him through the sand, letting him get some sun. I mean, he's growing. He's getting some photosynthesis. We're doing some photosynthesis.
Yeah, I think you could drown plants.
Well, that's why I didn't leave him in the water. I drug him through the water.
Yeah. Just a little pit stop.
Yeah. A hint of splash.
Yeah, a hint of splash. That they kind of like those Tostitos chips, just a hint of lime, just a hint of suffocation.
Yeah, I don't do lime on my chips. No.
Yeah, I don't lime my chips either.
Well, I say let's do that. Let's get back together in about a week or so, and we'll do episode 11. We'll do Tears of the Kingdom, and well, guys, I know Sprites has got somewhere to be, and
how to do.
We
duty calls.
Well, we are so excited that you guys got to listen to us rant and rave about the Legend of Zelda Timeline, and I hope you enjoyed it. As always, we've always asked that you please make sure you share this with everybody that you know. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Like I said, at DragonsW Gaming. We're trying to get some more stuff going. Yeah. We're trying to bump up some stuff. We're gonna, do a little bit more. For those that we introduced him, but Ace is part of our esports group, and it was awesome to have him on today. And
thank y'all.
We'd like to. Well, we appreciate you coming in, man. And we would like to do. We'd like to do more stuff like this.
Yeah, sure. I think we're going to try to do, invite some more of the esports kiddos on and let them kind of voice their opinion on some stuff that they like.
Some theories, all sorts of stuff. So, but, well, is there anything else that you need to say?
No, I mean, I'm good if you want to close us out.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, guys, y'all know, you know the drill. If you've been following us long enough, we do try to, as much as we joke around and everything else, and have a good time. We love the Lord, and we like to make sure that He's present and evident in our podcast, and being shown through our lives. So. And the way that we like to close is with a word of prayer a lot of times, and sometimes we'll have scripture and whatnot. And so I encourage that you always stay to the very end, and if you have prayer requests or anything like that, shoot them our way. We'd love to pray for you, not just here on the podcast, but in our everyday prayer lives. And it matters to the Lord. It goes a long way.
Absolutely.
So, but. Anyways, in saying that, let us go to the Lord and get ready to be dismissed from this podcast. Father God, thank you so much for today. And God, we ask that you just be with each and every listener, each and every person in this room today. God, we ask that you just lift each and every person that has heard this, and with encouragement, you give them peace and comfort. You give them guidance in whatever they're going through. We don't know everything that our listeners are going through, Lord, but if there's a hard time or whatever the case may be, Lord, we ask that you just be with them. And God, we thank you for this outlet that we have to be able to maybe lift up somebody and make somebody's day better, or maybe even spark a thought in somebody's mind that would lead them to make a decision for you. Or maybe just giving them a comforting place to be able to go to and just hear a little bit about gaming, Lord. Whatever the case may be, God, we're thankful for this. And Lord, we ask that you just be with us as we continue to share your wonderful gospel. Lord, God, we love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Guys, thank y'all so much. And if there's nothing else, we'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.